For the first time in a while, Chicago has made great acquisitions in the offseason. Let's take a look at their potential starting lineup for the upcoming season. At point guard, we got Lonzo Ball. The Bulls finally found their point guard. Ball was acquired on the first day of the free agency along with Alex Caruso. The Bulls now have two reliable point guards for the next 4 years, and this was the area they were lacking in the previous years. Lonzo Ball's final season in New Orleans was unlike any other he'd ever experienced. Ball's offensive position moved toward a 3-and-D player as the Pelicans shifted their strategy to highlight superstar forward Zion Williamson as the team's primary ball handler. Ball flourished in that role, averaging 14.6 points, 5.7 assists, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game while shooting 37.8% on 8.3 three-point tries per game, a statistic that doubters couldn't believe when he first joined the league as a terrible long-range shooter for the Lakers. However, his role with the Bulls will be different. "Just getting back to being more of a traditional point guard where I'm comfortable at," Ball told reporters, talking about a conversation he had with Bulls coach Billy Donovan. That should satisfy the Bulls' desire to play faster and more versatile basketball, as well as Ball's desire to be wanted by the organization, a point he's repeated several times since joining the team. Now, on a fully revamped squad, he's an essential component, with the potential to be even more, as the Bulls hope. At shooting guard, we have Zach LaVine. During the 2021 summer, the Chicago Bulls and All-Star player Zach LaVine were unable to reach an agreement on a contract extension. However, according to Zach and the Bulls' executive vice president, this is no indication of either side's long-term commitment to each other. The one thing that we know is we are committed to Zach. We want him to be in Chicago for a very long time. I think our trade deadline and free agency moves kind of proved that. LaVine also expressed his excitement about the new Chicago Bulls roster. "This is the most excited I've been, especially with the talent of the team that we have here, the support that they've given me. I'm extremely happy about that." Despite the presence of Ball and Vucevic, LaVine could still average 30.0 points per game. He has the skills to thrive. Last season, the 26-year-old set career highs in scoring, rebounds, assists, and three-pointers made per game, averaging 27.4 points, 5.0 rebounds, 4.9 assists, and 3.4 three-pointers made per game. He also shot a career-high 50.7% from the floor and 41.9% from beyond the arc, making him one of the NBA's top scorers. LaVine also competed in the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, where he was a member of the U.S. men's basketball team that won gold. At the small forward position, we have DeMar DeRozan. The 6'6" DeRozan has seen a lot in his NBA career, including being named to 2 All-NBA teams. He's 32, but he's coming off a season in which he set a career best in assists while still averaging nearly 22 points per game. And that's without a lot of three-pointers. He consistently goes to the free throw line, defends his position for the Spurs, and hardly misses a game. That's something the Bulls could use a lot of. In a sign-and-trade deal, the Chicago Bulls acquired DeMar DeRozan from the San Antonio Spurs. As part of the deal, Chicago sent Thaddeus Young, Al-Farouq Aminu, a protected first-round draft selection, and 2 second-round draft picks to San Antonio. DeRozan is a tough interior scorer. He is one of the league's most proficient wing players, getting to the free throw line, and a high-percentage shooter, primarily in the mid-range game. I expect him to be the team's starting small forward. In the last 3 seasons in San Antonio, DeRozan has shot around 50% on average. At power forward, we have Patrick Williams. The Bulls expect Williams to miss 4 to 6 weeks because of the injury sustained on September 15 during an individual workout. But this is just a minor setback, and I still believe that he'll be the potential starting power forward for the team if he's available. During his first season, Williams was one of the most durable Bulls, starting 71 of 72 games and boosting expectations for what the 4th overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft may accomplish in the future. Coach Billy Donovan urged Williams to get in peak physical condition this offseason, knowing that dominant two-way forwards can go a long way in the league. Williams' defensive value can be seen in the number of offensive win shares versus defensive win shares he brought to the table last season. Last season, he was in the top 4 on the club in defensive win shares, 2.2, but he only had 0.3 offensive win shares. What's encouraging about Williams' numbers from last season is that he had the most net steals and blocks per 100 possessions in a two-man combination alongside Vucevic. Last season, Satoransky and LaVine were part of some of his most efficient defensive lineups in terms of net per 100 possessions. Williams is clearly a plus defender for the Bulls, and he's demonstrated in the past that he can pick up the slack for other bad defenders in a lineup with him. Going into next season, he'll need to continue to improve defensively and pick up the load for other Bulls starters like LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic. And speaking of Vuce, at the center position, we have Nikola Vucevic. The Bulls did a good job of helping the win-now mentality by bringing in Vuce to provide star shooting guard Zach LaVine a legitimate all-star type running partner in Chicago, according to most people. However, there were a lot of criticisms that the Bulls gave up too much in order to get Vuce into the equation. Last season, the Bulls traded away some crucial members of their previous young core, as well as a slew of draft picks to acquire players like Vuce from the Magic and shooting guard, small forward Troy Brown Jr. from the Washington Wizards. What is evident for the Bulls is that adding Vuce to the mix will help them immediately find greater success in the win column. Vuce is an excellent scorer in the paint and from beyond the arc, as well as a decent rebounder and a capable player in the pick-and-roll style that head coach Billy Donovan favors. Vuce is especially effective in the dribble handoff offense, which is ideal for Donovan's playbook. However, one of the most underappreciated aspects of his game is his rebounding ability. Vuce is just as good a rebounder as he is a scorer in terms of statistics. This is especially true on the offensive side of the ball. Between his time with the Bulls and the Magic last season, Vuce averaged about a dozen rebounds per game, with just over 2 of those coming on the offensive boards. In his career, he's also averaged moreover 2.5 offensive rebounds per game. Now let's look at the Bulls bench. They have Kobe White, Alex Caruso, Derrick Jones Jr., and Stanley Johnson. The Bulls lost Thaddeus Young, Garrett Temple, and Tomas Satoransky as a result of their transactions to strengthen the starting lineup. This season's bench will be much younger. White had a 15.1 point, 4.1 rebound, and 4.8 assist average. On the court, White and LaVine didn't always provide the best results, but when LaVine wasn't in the lineup with White, he performed better. If White can get the Bulls a player off the bench like Lou Williams, the second unit will be okay offensively. Alex Caruso would be able to play point guard with White at the 2. Finally, the Bulls are competitive again. LaVine is an All-Star, Vucevic is a 2-time All-Star, and DeRozan has played 4 All-Star games. Ball and Williams are the former number 2 overall pick and number 4 overall pick respectively. Both have made great improvements in their development. Even if the squad isn't a title contender straight away, this starting roster has a lot of potential. In my opinion, they won't get past the teams like the Nets or the Bucks. They'll probably match up against the Knicks and the Hawks in terms of potential. But I think they're bound to make the playoffs. They should, right? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.